Stat A. All right, so here we go. So stat A, 8.2.2, sampling. Yeah. Yeah. She knows what she has to do. Sampling distribution of sample means day 2. So this is just, again, it's really not anything to add. I just wanted to do a full example within the notes. Yesterday I didn't do an example. Focus here. So today I wanted to walk us through how we actually do an example. So here is the situation. The weights of RBA students are normally distributed. Now, basically, this initial question and the wording of everything is identical to last unit. So everything at the beginning is identical, and then it switches to this idea of the sampling distribution. Is normally distributed with a mean of 140 pounds. So the average student is weighing 140 pounds, and a standard deviation of 20 pounds. Now I could ask, if this was the last unit, I could ask, like, draw the model. So where does 68% of students, and we can kind of do that in our own heads. 68% of students based on these numbers at RBA, because it includes the young little kiddos, weigh between 120 and 160 pounds. 95% of students weigh between 100 and 180 pounds. And 99.7% of students weigh between 80 and 200 pounds. Okay, so I was putting these numbers in maybe, so if you were weighing more than, 2 standard deviations, you'd be unusually heavy. If you were weighing less than 100 pounds, you'd be unusually light in terms of your weight. All right, based on this scenario right here. So A, again, this is basically a review of the last unit and what we did in our do now. What is the probability that a randomly selected RBA student weighs more than 125 pounds? So again, very similar to our do now question. This is basically what we did last unit. Nothing really is going crazy yet. So it's normal. This is not a sampling distribution problem. We're going to go straight to right here. We'll draw our sketch. All right, there's my sketch. The center is 120. We want more than 125 pounds. And so we're going to do a normal. Did I? Yes, I did. 140, 125 there. So now that makes more sense because my answer I had on my notes here was more than 0.5. Same normal CDF piece. Thank you so much for catching that. Normal CDF. 125 is the lower limit. 9999. Of course, there's, again, if you're within Desmos, you should be comfortable using the software. I think it's a lot quicker with the software, more intuitive, but we have our understanding of the calculator. Comma, the mean, 140, comma, the standard deviation, 20. All right, so I do that. I go to my calculator, and that's what I would do. Second, vars 2, 125, 9999, 140, 20 pounds, paste, enter, 0.773. 0.773. There's about a 73% chance that if I randomly select a student, they're going to weigh 125 pounds or more, at least 125 pounds. Okay, which kind of makes sense. If the average student weighs 140 pounds, it seems pretty likely that I'm going to get a student that weighs at least 125. All right, now, question B. Now comes the new stuff. We randomly select 10 students. Describe the sampling distribution of sample mean weights. So when you see this idea of describing the sampling distribution, this is where we need to talk about it being normal. Whenever you hear sampling distribution, the first thing you're doing when you see that line, sampling distribution, is we're going to check our assumptions and conditions. All right, we're going to verify that it's going to be normal. 9 times out of 10, the question is that it's going to be normal, so I can do a follow-up question. Because if it's not normal, then we can't proceed. But there are also times that I just say, let's cut it off right there, boom, we're done. And then the second thing is that we need to find the mean and the standard deviation of the sampling distribution, and also state that it's approximately normal. All right, so remember, sin is what we are doing. So, well, first and foremost, the sample is normal. The second part is that 10 is the 10% condition. In this case, 10 is less than 10% of all RBA students. Okay. The population is RBA students, and our sample size is N, so 10 is less than 10%. That's the 10% condition. Basically, what these first, again, just to reiterate, these first two things together signify that we can make the assumption. These are what, these are what we call the conditions. And if, please help me out here. I didn't say that. The sample is not normal. What is the sample? It's random. Yeah, I'm very tired. Been grades all night long. Got a lot.
Yeah, I was getting messages from you. I had to like put you in the not just.
I know. You're gonna have to do that. You're gonna have to do that again today for this class.
You kept on like notifying me.
I know. I was up to midnight grading grades. So my financial literacy grades are all finalized. But, yeah. So you're gonna get it for this class today, all throughout the day, probably to midnight again. So these two conditions, these are, sin is the conditions, all right? Or the assumptions is the independence and normality. So the other one is the normality check, which in this case, which is, again, that is the other one, which is the nearly, actually, I think since we're doing this type of distribution, it's the nearly normal condition. And on the nearly normal condition, do we have a large enough sample, basically? Is the sample large enough for us to say that the sampling distribution is? Well, first off, 10 is not a very large sample, so that doesn't automatically do it for us. We want a sample size of at least 30. 30 works all the time, but we got 10. But that's okay, because in this case, the population is normal. The population is normal. What did you say? Know a deal when I see one? The population is normal, so it doesn't matter what the sample size is. Since the population is normal, the condition is already done. If the population was not stated normal, then I need a sample size that's at least 30 all the time. Yeah. it's it comes down to being that obvious. So if you don't, what is that? Yes, the stem of the question will state that it's normal. If it doesn't, then what I'm going to be basically doing for you, if it doesn't say that, then I will either give you a graph of what it looks like we did yesterday, and yesterday's problem, where I'll give you what the population looks like. So, oh yeah, look, you have to make that inference that looks normal, or I will give you a sample size of greater than 30. There's a third way, and I'm not going to really push us in that method. It's going to be one of these two. Population is normal, because we're going to do that when we come back to inference later on, because we have to do a lot then. All right, therefore, we can now state that approximately normal. We can state approximately normal. And the mean of the sampling distribution, notice it's mean of X bar, is going to be the same thing. It never changes. Still 120 pounds. But the standard deviation, why do I keep saying 120? Keep thinking, you guys, oh, yeah, it used to be 140, but these days it's like it used to be 120, but these days it's like more close to 140. It's post-COVID. And the standard deviation is 20 what? 20. The standard deviation of the sampling distribution is 20 over the square root of 10, because in this n is 10. Which when I plug that in the calculator gives me 6.32 pounds. So this is the answer, because this describes it, but you have to check the conditions as well. All right. C. Now, what is the probability that the mean weight of 10 randomly selected RBA students is more than 125 pounds? Okay. Now, again, it looks like it's the same question that I asked you initially. But this question is a sampling distribution question, because I'm not asking you for the probability that the weight of an individual, but that the mean weight. So when you see this, when it says that the mean weight, or I could say average weight, this tells me it's a sampling distribution problem. So we're going to use the normal model here, with the center being 140. Remember, the mean is 140 pounds. The standard deviation is 6.32 pounds. So this problem is different. And 125 is going to be way over there. And therefore, it's still everything looks almost exactly the same. Normal CDF, 125, 9999, 140. But the only thing that changes is the standard deviation. Because now it's a standard deviation of the sampling. It's the mean weights standard deviation, not the weight. And if I plug that into my calculator, second enter, again, the only thing that changes is the standard deviation, 6.32, enter 0.991. There's a 99%, the probability that there's a 99% chance that the average weight of 10 students will exceed 100, will be at least 125 pounds. Versus that the probability for one student, there was a 77% chance for one student. There's a 99% chance that the average of 10 students, because it's more likely that the more students I sample, the more likely it is that they're going to be closer to the average weight of 140. So getting an average of values further away from the mean of 125 for the sampling distribution is less likely, and that's why we get this idea here. So that's the sampling distribution. That's what I have for you today.